Welcome to Pagan Coffee Talk, a traditional Wiccan podcast where we will discuss topics affecting the pagan community from a traditionalist perspective. The topics we discuss are picked from our magical hat and the discussions are unscripted. The talks will be led by Lady Keegan, second degree priestess. She's joined by Lord Chase Knight Smith, elder and high priest of third degree. Pagan Coffee Talk is brought to you by Life Temple and Seminary.
Hi, and welcome to Pagan Coffee Talk. I'm Keegan, and as always, I'm joining Lord Knight. Lord Knight, how are you?
I'm fine, and how are you today, Lady Keegan?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. It's like deja vu. I feel like we've done this already. Okay, I've got some questions.
You know, just a week ago or something, you know.
Just a week ago. Time flies so fast.
Anyway.
Okay, this is going to be like a Q&A. What's the difference between Wicca and witchcraft? And be nice.
Do you want the official answer or do you want my answer?
I want you to be nice. Sugarcoat it.
What's the difference between Wicca and craft?
Uh-huh.
My personal opinion only is that Wicca is actually part of the New Age movement and craft is actually part of the old religion.
Okay.
How's that? And if you don't know what the New Age movement is, it was a movement that was brought on that has to do with crystals, aliens, channeling, and psychics, and you just need to read about it to understand it.
Is witchcraft a religion?
Yes.
Why do witches have witch names?
There's a mystery in there. There's a mystery in there. What else would you like me to say about that?
Is there anything that you can say without?
If you think about it this way, it's the beginning of a new life, so therefore you get a new name.
Good enough. Can you be possessed by evil?
Well, yeah.
Elaborate. Is it dangerous to be a witch? Are you more susceptible to?
I just thought you meant in general. I was about to say, yes. No. Look at it. If you want to see anybody possessed by evil, look at any politician.
I would say you without your coffee, but okay.
That's not evil. That's just death and destruction.
There's a fine line.
There's a difference between poking the bear and the bear actually seeking you out to destroy you.
You're right. I stand corrected. You're not evil without your coffee. Poke the bear. I got it. Well, are witches more susceptible to evil?
Classically trained witches, no. People that are free-flowing and just willy-nilly and all this other stuff, yeah, I can see where they could get themselves in trouble.
Is there a way to protect yourself against that?
Yeah.
That you can talk about?
Well, it basically gets down to the point is if you don't completely understand it, don't do it.
Well, this is true.
You know, if you're sitting there going on YouTube and watching YouTube videos and going to assume that these people, even listening to our podcast, are going to give you answers, you're kind of crazy. And what I mean by that is there's no way. Like the way I teach things and stuff like that, to a certain extent, gets very personalized at a specific point.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's the same way. Not everybody's the same. If You could just watch a video and that would be it.
Well, I kind of think of it, if you was going to be a surgeon, and I've spent 8, 12 years in med school.
Well,
or
even when you're
a YouTube video, it's good enough.
Well, I mean, even with surgeons, I mean, there's a point to where they actually have to go into an OR room and do this operation with a mentor watching over their shoulder there to pick up just in case anything goes wrong.
Of course.
That they can't handle yet.
Witches don't go by that stand. We don't go by that standard. Anybody can watch a video and bam. Good enough.
Yeah, good enough. Yeah, these cookie cutter books are going to fit everybody because everybody's the same, really. No, not everybody's the same.
Oh, these questions are great. Why cast a circle?
Not getting into the mysteries of that, but there are certain rituals. There are when we're doing rituals, this is our communion with deity. It is not a time to cast a freaking spell.
Right.
This is worshiping of deity.
Yeah.
All right. Becoming closer, working with them, meditating, and conversing with deity. This is what ritual's for. It is not to, I'm going to cast a spell, which confuses me a lot when I hear a lot of people say this, I'm going to do a ritual, blah, 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 and I'm just going to be doing this, for, self-love.
Spell work.
And it turns out to be spell work. No, that's spell work.
Right. Yeah, me too.
This is consecrated area that allows communion with deity.
Yeah.
When I teach you how to do this, you keep on hearing me say, I'm going to teach you a way.
Right.
Anybody in the more traditional, that's what you're going to hear from them. You're never going to hear, this is the way you got to do it.
No, no, especially if they're worth their salt. This is a way.
This is a way. Now, when I sit there and say, look, this is the way we're going to do it, I mean that as a group. This is the way we're going to cast circle.
Yeah. Well,
so everybody's on
that's what we do, though. We don't,
right.
However we feel that day depends on how we get it done. No, there's certain ways, certain things it's done this way every time.
Every time. And that's just so everybody stays on the same page. But I'm not going to sit there and tell you, hey, this is the way you have to do it all the time, no matter where in the world you go, whatever in the world you do. For all eternity, this is the way you're going to have. No.
That's it. The Alpha and the Omega.
Right. No, that's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is when we're together, this is the way we're going to cast circle. And what you do in the privacy of your own home is your business.
But don't come crying to me when you mess something up.
So when you're doing, because a lot of people do, for some reason and I know this is getting way off topic, people seem to think once you join a coven, that's it. You have to do it that way. You have to be told what in the world to do, what not to do. And that's a freaking lie.
Yes. Yes, it is.
We come together to worship together, to enjoy each other's companies and energies while we're working together. To do that, there has to be some groundwork there so we can work together more flowingly and just to be able to work together that way.
To make fluid. It needs to be fluid.
Yeah, it needs to flow. We don't need to spend 2 hours trying to figure out every time when we're going to, as a group, how we're going to cast circle.
Right. Absolutely.
This should just be a given.
Yeah, let's just do it. Come on.
We said we were going to do ritual at 7, and here it is.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. I told I ain't got enough to pay that babysitter overtime like that. I got a date with Destiny, and if you're late, they charge extra.
Choppy chop.
Choppy chop.
So, how big does circle have to be?
As big as you need it.
Is there a set rule for that?
No.
Scooch over.
There's not. I mean, if you only got 4 people, it doesn't need to be a mile wide. You need to base it to where it's comfortable enough for everybody to circle around. Now, if you got an actual building or a temple or somewhere to actually perform, yes, people will often put circles on the floors, and the majority of the times that these diameters of these circles that are put like that are normally some type of multiple or able to be divided by 3.
Yeah, we like that number.
That's just to mark the area to let everybody know, okay, hey, last week we only had 10 people here. This week we got 20, so we're going to have to use this outer ring.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's in Uncle Buck's book.
Right.
Different sizes and how to make them work.
And how to make them work. Mm-hmm. And this is not about the actual line on that you might actually draw to show you on a floor.
Right.
That you can use like a piece of chalk, tape, brick, whatever you want.
Salt, lots of salt, tons of salt.
Tons of salt. Yeah, go on. Anyway.
Are elves, fairies, and dragons real?
Well, I stopped for mythical creatures too. Elves, fairies, good men.
Mythical creatures. Only written about, but have they ever been seen?
Fairies are this weird thing. There are creatures out there who fall under the auspice of the word fairy, of what we know traditionally. Mm-hmm. Winged creatures, small, blah, blah, blah. We are old guard, or at least I am.
At least you are.
At least I am.
I'm old guard of one.
I'm old guard, so that's the tradition I follow. And we follow more of a Celtic pantheon here.
Maybe just a tad. Yeah.
Right. So fairies for us are the Tawafa De Danann.
Mm-hmm.
They are our deities.
Yes.
These are not because
Pixies.
They went to right. Because when Christianity came, they fled to the Shis or the realms of fairy.
Yeah.
So it can be a little confusing.
What about elves?
Sure.
Dragons?
Yeah.
Where?
Yes, I believe in lichens.
I feel like you've twisted that a bit. Because I know what you mean.
I know what you mean too, and I can't. Again, that is a traditional mystery in which I will not discuss.
Vampires.
Yes.
In the traditional sense, or in the psychic energy?
Well, there's psychic vampires out there, and yes, some of them will do it for blood. And yes, I do know that for some people who do this by drinking too much blood can actually be poisonous to you.
Do they drink it warm or cold?
I have no idea. I've never done it.
Is that personal preference?
There are people out there who are vampires. They are not the undead. And then, like, when you're talking about the fairies, the elves, and the dragons, the concept of them exists.
Well, sure.
But I can't sit here and tell you that, that they don't exist. I've never seen one, but just because I ain't ever seen one doesn't mean they don't exist.
Right. I've been to Vermont.
I've never been to Vermont, but hey, you know what? I know a lot of people that have been there. I've never seen a UFO, but it doesn't mean they don't exist.
Do you have to face the cardinal directions when you're calling in the elements, when you're calling in the elementals?
No, but it does help.
Do you have to call in the elementals at all?
No, but it does help.
To you personally, do you have a preference?
I have a preference to call them. I would. I don't know what you do, but this is what I do.
It says, I have a preference to call them. Yes, I know that. But for those that don't know that, yes, you call them. Why? Why are they important to you?
That's a mystery.
This is going nowhere real fast.
This is going nowhere real fast, and I think we're going real fast in reverse. Let's just say for us, they're there to reinforce that circle.
See, there's a way.
It is not necessarily there to protect us or to protect or to keep. They're there to reinforce that circle, to make it more hospitable for deity.
Okay.
How's that?
That's good.
I think that avoids those mysteries.
I think you're doing really well. I mean, so far.
According to my preference.
Well, I prefer to call them. How many deities do you work with? This is you personally. You.
Me personally? It really depends on what I need done or what I'm doing.
Do you have
where I need help? Yes.
Is that a mystery as well?
No. You're enjoying this way too much.
These questions, oh my gosh.
Again, I'm Celtic, so I tend to lean.
We believe in all of them.
I believe in all them. I believe in all the Celtic deities, and I tend to fall under the category. And I personally work with Danu and Baal.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you do.
Before I do most of the other ones.
What's their names? We don't even know.
You know. Well, I mean, I know a lot of people who follow Celtic pantheons, and they'll do the Dagda and Bridget.
I can kind of see that too, though. I see where they're coming from. That's okay. How many people do you have to have in a circle for it to work?
One.
A circle of one.
Circle of one. Now serving. Circle of one.
What's the main difference between a coven and solitaire spiritually?
Spiritually?
Mm-hmm.
Well, while solitaires might have the ability to go and follow any way they want, but they often have a danger of going into the weeds a lot because there's nobody to kind of direct them or keep them on course.
And covens kind of keep you in the ditches? Keep you out of the ditches?
Keep you out of the ditches. We at least keep you on, even though you might be blazing your own path, we sort of kind of keep you on your own path.
What about synergy? What about synergy?
Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some bad things, about temples. You might not get along with everybody, and yet you might not always understand the teachings, and it could drive you up the wall because you think you should be moving faster. And most temples are ruled by their elders. Most temples are a theocracy and not a democracy.
Right.
Most traditionalist temples. I mean, you do have your eclectic temples out there that could be more democratic.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they might not be as good as keeping you out of the ditches.
But there's a point to having elders and leaders. There's a point to this.
Right.
So I get confused why the eclectic, anybody can do whatever. What's the point of having a coven if that's the situation? I can do that at home.
Yeah.
I can just make up my own rules as I go on.
I'm still back to if you're a solitaire and blah, 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 and you can do whatever you want and all this, why go out on Reddit? Why read a book?
Yeah.
Just cobble together whatever you want.
Yeah, willy-nilly, just pull something up. It doesn't matter. Shoot from the hip.
You don't need to do any of that. You could just do whatever.
What's the easiest way for someone to get into witchcraft?
Fall in a hole.
Continuously. Big hole.
The easiest way to somebody to get into, first of all, I'd sort of go out there and read everything, and anything I'd read, regardless if it's a book or an author, old book, new book, whatever, internet, not internet, I'd read a little bit of stuff and take everything that you read with a big grain of salt.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of people are going to tell you a lot of things. Go out, fill some covens, and some other temples and more traditionalists.
Well, say they're by themselves.
I mean, because here's your problem is you can go out online and you can have these conversations and you're going to hear a lot of people, oh, no, you don't want to be part of a coven, blah, blah, blah. This is the way they are. And I've even heard that, oh, no, you got to have sex. You got to give up your free will. You can only do it when they do it and all that, which is completely wrong.
Yeah, of course it is.
I'm one of them type of person. Until I hear it from the horse's mouth.
You take it with a grain of salt.
You take it with a grain of salt. Because everybody has opinions and everybody's going to inject their opinion on something.
Well, let's say they've got this person just starting out. They were reading the books. They're doing the whole noob thing. They don't have a coven. They can't find one. Can they cast circle by themselves? Do spell work? Can they dabble in that stuff, or is it safer to wait until you have the training, or what should that person do?
Well, as far as that goes, yeah, there's plenty of books and stuff like that. I would pick a way to cast circle and cast circle that way every time.
Start your own traditional one.
Right. I mean, and I hate to be that way, but that's literally what you're doing.
Yeah.
You sit down and you write down and you forget all the books for a minute and write down, hey, today I believe in this. Matter of fact, that might be your best first step. Is to sit down, and for somebody like what you're talking about, I would sit there and tell them, hey, your best bet is to sit down and not read any of the witch books or anything like that, and sit down and write down, today I believe this.
Not bad, actually.
Then go back and start reading the books and compare it to what you wrote down.
Look at you giving out good advice.
To me, that seems more logical way of doing it. Because then you have to start the argument of, why do I believe that way?
So your own little spiritual journal.
Right. And you can't forget the whys. Why are you doing it that way? Why in this book do they say do it this way?
Do you have a top 3 that you go, yeah, these are the 3. These are very basic, but they're very good. Somebody just starting out.
I want to say like Drawing Down the Moon, Starhawk, Spiral Dance,
Uncle Buck.
You can even do a Scott Cunningham book that kind of give you more of that eclectic stuff.
Well, Art Power was pretty good.
Yeah. And if you wanted to look more at what like traditionalist or a little like, but with the mysteries kind of like hidden and not necessarily right out and out saying, I'd say the Witch's Bible Complete.
That's complicated, but I think it was pretty complicated when I was starting out. I definitely needed somebody to help me through that. So, what is this? What?
It does take a while.
And your last question.
Ooh, last question. Ooh, hey. Oh.
If you could do it over again, what changes would you make?
If I could do it over
with your religion, would you make any changes, and what would they be?
If I could go back and do it again with what I know now, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like that's dangerous, but sure.
If I could go back and do it, well, first of all, I'd probably start meditating a whole lot earlier in my life. Out of the womb. Out of the womb. Yeah. When you're sitting there sucking on something, bottle, breast, whatever. Yeah.
See, that's not where I thought you were going with it, but okay.
Out of the womb. Yeah, meditating. Dealing with the issues as they come up.
That I don't have yet.
That I don't have yet, but I'm dealing with them. I would probably get kicked out of school more.
But not for spiritual reasons.
Yeah, probably.
It's religious. It's religious reasons.
It's religious. I'm telling you. Then there would probably be that whole, parents trying to depossess you and all this.
Yeah.
Because I was raised Southern Baptist, so going to church would be interesting that time, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Questions.
I have questions. But I do not think there would be too much I would change, though.
So you're pretty satisfied with your
Yeah.
path? Just you'd meditate sooner.
I'd meditate sooner. I would try to get a hold of Lord Men sooner, too.
That training and meditation.
Getting that training in at a little bit younger age.
Well, that's not bad then.
I don't know how well Oswin would put up with that, but,
You mean a second time?
a second time.
He'd be drunk a lot.
We're going to do this again.
Where's the liquor?
Oh, my God. I'm not rereading Drawing Down the Moon.
Ain't doing it.
You can wait for it to come out on Audible.
On video. Ain't doing it. That's good, though. You don't have many regrets as far as you don't go, well, I've been through 4 or 5 covens. I wish I hadn't have done that. I wish I'd done my click sooner. There's a lot of
No. I've only been mixed up with one coven, and that is Life Temple and Seminary. Lord Men was a absolutely wonderful teacher.
Yeah. Meditating sooner, that's not too bad.
No. I mean, before I would had the chance to meet him, yeah, that's probably about the only thing I would do is meditate an awful lot. Maybe do a few full moon rituals. Hey, Mom, Dad, I gotta go, camp out in the backyard tonight.
Yeah.
It's funny how you always gotta go camp out once a month.
Every 28 and a half days.
Hey, it's just me being the good Boy Scout.
That's not bad.
Gotta get the practice in. All right, so that was it for all the questions?
Yeah.
All right, well.
I told you they were simple.
Yeah, they were.
But they were good. I think they're good questions.
Well, I'm out of coffee.
Thank you for listening to Pagan Coffee Talk. I hope you join us next week.
We travel down this trodden path, the maze of stone and mire. Just hold my hand as we pass by a sea of blazing pyres. And so it is the end of our days, so walk with me till morning breaks. And so it is the end of our days, so walk with me till morning breaks.